The ultimate segment on the weekend breakfast. Of course, my name is Theophilus Elema, and of course, we are going to be having a very great discussion. But before that, let's introduce to you my co-host here, Adebanke Oduni. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. And how are you doing?
I'm fine. I like your bone streets. Well,
this is not Bone Street. Don't embarrass us.
I'm not trying to. No,
TVC,
I'm not trying to do. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just
This is
trying to
not Bone
compliment
Street.
your beauty.
It's a bulb.
You know.
But you can't
Do
just
that
say I'm
again.
beautiful. It's a bulb. But thank you very much. I know I'm very beautiful. Thank
Yes, you are actually.
Thank you.
Yes, you are. How you doing? How's the week for you? Entertainment and everything.
The week was fine. Davido and Pinnick have settled
Their
on
rift.
their-
Yeah. Actually.
Davido will pay him 30 million.
And still perform?
Yeah, still
The show in
perform
April?
in October
Yeah.
October 4th. Initially, he was, Amaju Pinnick was asking for one point something billion naira, but yeah, they didn't grant that
All
to
these court
him.
cases.
And then also Simi, some people came for Simi. I love Simi.
Yes.
Some people came for Simi, and I'm so glad that finally she responded to them in their own language.
Same people came for Case Daniel as well.
Yeah, and there were even allegations that he's not treating his wife properly or something. And I'm just like, are you people that jealous? But I mean, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. But I just feel like that if someone is doing good, you might not like their sounds. There are some musicians that I would not be caught dead listening to, but they are doing well. So
For the
give
sake of
them
your
their
job, you have to
flowers.
listen to them.
Yeah, obviously, but give them their flowers if they are doing well.
Truly.
If people like them, do that.
Yeah. Okay, so today we are going to be, you just watched the trailer to a documentary that's on Prime Video. And of course, we are speaking with Stephanie Coker this morning, and she's with us in the studio.
Hi, morning.
Welcome. How you doing?
I'm very well. How are you both?
I'm great. I'm sure you
See
are.
how she's shining.
Yes, she is. She is, you know. She is. So, you talked about PCOS.
Yes.
I must confess, I told you earlier that basically a lot of people, it's our first time hearing about PCOS. Maybe because of the stigma associated with it, it's been hidden for quite a long time. But you have brought it to the fore. Why did you decide to do this?
Okay, well, as someone that has the condition, that's really the major reason. Because also, I didn't really see a lot of women that looked like me talk about PCOS. And when I was trying to conceive, PCOS actually was one of the main factors that made it hard.
Wow.
Was the main factor. Yeah.
Okay, for the sake of those who don't know about PCOS, can you just give us some symptoms?
Yeah, of course.
effects?
PCOS is an endocrine disorder. It's a hormonal imbalance. So it means that women's menstrual cycles are often disrupted. That's one of the symptoms. Excessive hair growth, male pattern-like hair growth. So I don't know, in Nigeria, sometimes they call it beer, which is...
Is it wicked women have it?
Yes, so yeah, all those type of things, those type of sayings. And excessive weight gain that's unexplainable. There is also acne, hormonal acne, oily skin. There's just so many symptoms, but those are the main three that people look out for. But the one that will determine whether you have PCOS or not is when you go to do a blood test and they check your LH, FSH levels and also a scan. Most of the times it's a transvaginal scan, which will show cysts on the ovaries. Poly means small, like tiny. So they probably see a lot of tiny cysts on the ovaries, and that's when they would conclude that the person has polycystic ovarian syndrome.
For you, you said you found it hard when you were trying to conceive. That's when you realized. How was it for you?
Well, so I always knew I had PCOS, but obviously, I mean, as a young girl, missing a period is not the worst thing that could happen to you. I mean, nobody enjoys it. Yeah, you didn't know, but it's not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't really take it that seriously. The only thing I took seriously was really the hormonal acne because I work on television, you know, and it's annoying. And then also the hirsutism. People often love to point out when women have imperfections or like hair. They're like, oh, you have
so
a hair.
annoying.
Do you think I didn't see it in the mirror? Do you I see myself a lot. Like, you don't have to point it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that's really when I was like, oh, this PCOS is really annoying. But when I was trying to conceive, they always told me that okay, when you're ready to conceive, you can come back to the hospital. Like that's when we'll figure out your PCOS stuff. And it's like, but PCOS affects every facet in in the human body. Like, it doesn't just affect conception or your reproductive system. It affects mental health. As I said, like your outward appearance, and also it can go on to affect like organs, because PCOS can lead to type 2 diabetes. It's been shown that 50% of women living with PCOS will go on to have type 2 diabetes, and also you can go on to have heart diseases.
Wow.
Yeah, cardiovascular disease, heart disease, and endometrial cancer. Yeah, so it's really, people just see the syndrome, but why I felt like it was important for us to talk and create awareness for this is so that it doesn't lead to other things like those I've just mentioned.
So you're just like also in the media industry. How has this syndrome affected your career growth over the years?
Oh, wow. Okay. That's a good question. So with media, you always have to show up. Yeah. So working on television, you always have to show up no matter what happened, no matter if you are just suffering from heartbreak.
Any personal things, you have
breakfast, you have to show up. You have to smile and be happy. Oh, it's so great. So with PCOS, as I said, like the mental health aspect of it, you can wake up and sleep. You can sleep 8 hours and wake up tired, but I still have to show up and be like lively. But a lot of women that have PCOS have fatigue. They also have like mental health, like depression. Like there's a lot of the time there's a voice telling you, oh, you're not this. And the thing about it is with PCOS, because you can also see things like, okay, I'm going on TV and I have like hormonal acne, because your face can be clear. Then the next minute you wake up and you just see all these spots or pimples and you're like, what did I do? I washed my face. I used my 500K worth of skincare products. What's going on?
Yeah, expensive.
So expensive, yeah. And then also the hair. I've been doing laser hair removal for about 12 years. Wow. Only now have I found a laser hair system that really, really works. So I've spent a lot of money on treating PCOS. And in terms of my career, I think PCOS, because especially in irregular periods, like I tend to stay away from wearing like whites, because you just never know. Yeah, unless you go on medication like birth control, where it can really regulate your menstrual cycle, you don't know when it's going to appear. So it's really annoying.
Wow. So you are the subject right now because you are here.
Yeah.
There are many women watching who have not come out because of the stigma. Why do we have such stigma associated with this?
Well, I believe we have so much stigma around it because our culture doesn't really permit us to speak out. People didn't want me to speak out. Well, no, I would say people. My mum was trying to protect me. She didn't want people to, start asking plenty questions and stuff like that when I said, oh, I want to talk about this. So is this that thing, caring about what everyone else thinks or what they're going to say? I think that hinders us from speaking out. And when we don't see anybody that looks like us, we generally start to believe that, oh, this is something that we have to deal with alone. Nobody else will understand because I'm probably the only person that's living with this thing. I'm probably some type of freak, So when you don't see people that look like you or hear anyone's story, you will definitely think you're alone. And then it just continues. The cycle continues. And that's what I'm trying to break with creating awareness with this documentary, because I really don't want there to be a 13-year-old girl in secondary school right now thinking, oh, there's something wrong with me and I can't tell my mom, because my mom would automatically think I'm pregnant. Because why would I stop and it stops? She's going to say that I'm doing things that I'm not supposed to be doing. And if the parent is not aware that there's a syndrome like this, you can't even blame them. Yes, sometimes automatically they might just think, oh my gosh, and then also the fact that we need to have a culture of really like taking our girl child to the clinic, to the hospital, to just get familiar checks, make sure everything is okay with their reproductive system, not just that, oh, they start period and you send them with a pad and then that's it, okay, And a lot of children are in boarding school, so they're figuring things out themselves. And they're also getting bullied in school because of PCOS. Yeah, because that, okay, hormonal acne, they'll bully you. Hair. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, a lot of the women on the documentary spoke about like that hair thing, like, oh, you're a man. Even PCOS causes like changes in the voice, so the voice can deepen. foot size can change. A lot of interesting things, actually.
Well, how can we encourage organizations, governments to conduct research on women-related issues? Because I did a research on PCOS, and I realized that there is really no cause. No, okay, this is what causes it.
Yeah.
It's fish, so that's what causing it. And there's also no cure. But, I mean, every day research is being done on other diseases,
Right.
HIV, mental health disorders, but for women-related issues, you always see no cause and no cures. So how can we encourage them?
I genuinely can't believe in 2024 that they still don't know the exact cause of PCOS when it is so rampant. There is 1 in 10 globally living with PCOS, 1 in 6 in Nigeria living with PCOS. I actually also conducted my own small study. I was in a room with 6 women, and I think 2 people had PCOS. Yeah, so then also the fact that then there are no statistics on these types of syndromes is a bit shocking. I found the 1 in 6 last year, I believe it came out, and that doesn't help when we're just getting these type of statistics. So we need data. I think the government can help us with collating data on these type of conditions and focusing really on putting money into research. Yeah, I mean, it's not just the Nigerian government. I mean, all over the world, they still don't know the cause of PCOS, for example.
And not of PCOS, other women.
And so many, yeah. It's because, as you know, the women, we're the leaders. We're really without us.
I agree.
So we need to be healthy.
Yeah, true, truly.
They need to also, it's funding as well, because why is it that they're sending us away with birth control? And there's so much controversy around birth control, especially with PCOS, because birth control can worsen symptoms in some cases. Yes. So obviously it's not the best idea. And then sending a 14-year-old girl away with birth control, I don't think that's
and even some health health workers, even our doctors, our nurses, they don't really know about it. So when you go, the first thing they're asking you is, when was the last time you saw your period? Oh, I'm sending you to go and do a PT test. And you are just like 14, 15 years old.
Yeah, that's traumatizing.
So
Looking at those women, I can understand how the emotions came out during the interviews. How was it during production, getting them to speak, getting them to even sit down to listen to the questions or to even talk to people about it?
Honestly, this documentary would not have been possible without these women and their bravery, because so I found most of them through a group called PCOS Conquerors.
Wow.
And these women literally were like, if they can share their stories to help other young girls, women that are living with this, absolutely. It wasn't easy because it was very emotional, and there were some takes in there that you didn't see, but we always had tissue, and there were so many hugs going around on set, because you're just thinking that, wow, and this woman is still persevering and doing what she loves to do with her job and working hard, and she's taking care of her home, and sometimes she wakes up and she's tired after sleeping and she can't explain it. Some of the women, their marriages ended, and PCOS was part of the reasons. We saw someone that had a really unfortunate incident happen as well on there. I won't say what it was, so you could go and watch the documentary.
Go and watch it.
Yeah, so there's so many things that these women are going through, and listening to their stories, and as someone that has this condition, I didn't even know it was really this deep until I heard their stories, because there's some symptoms that I don't have, and it's just mind-blowing to hear, you're going through this, are you serious? The girl that said she had to use like such layers of period pads. Yeah, I only started experiencing that after I had my daughter. Before, my parents were not like that, but she's consistently been living like that, and it's 2024. What's going on?
What would have been the difference if, for someone who's not even living with that condition to shoot that kind of movie, that kind of documentary? What would have been the difference?
I think the emotional connection to the women, and also understanding, because I have a clear understanding of PCOS, and some people, the way they ask you questions like, oh, what's that? Okay, explain it.
Uh-huh.
Like, no, it's not like that. And even our director, Michael Amasalmis, he was so gentle. He was so patient with these women. You would think that he was a woman living with PCOS as well. So I think it's not just about having the condition, but also just being empathetic. And I think sometimes we're not kind to one another. Yeah, and we don't read the room. So it's very important to be able to read the room when you're shooting a documentary like this. Like, you don't just, you see someone breaking down, you say, okay, we'll give you 5 minutes, but you know, we have a tight schedule. You can't shoot like that. Yeah.
All right, so in all of these things now, this is quite a serious issue.
Yeah.
How can we have more people aware?
So the second phase of this is we're actually going on a university tour.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and we are looking for all the support. Like, we are welcoming all the support we can get because we want to test 1,000 girls across Nigeria. Yeah, so they'll be given a questionnaire, and then if they present symptoms of PCOS, we will test them with the blood test and ultrasound. Yeah, so we want to use that way to create awareness and also get these girls tested earlier on in life as opposed to when they want to have a baby.
Yes.
Because that's what happens a lot of the time is when they get married and then they see that they can't have a child. A lot of the time they find out that they have PCOS or another condition. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. But I want to know, what were the challenges that you went through apart from the emotions anyways? Because I know that you guys would have spent a lot of time on the shooting and everything. Apart from that, any challenges, any stigmatization?
No, just normal. Oh, no, just normal production challenge. Like the ceiling fell through in the morning.
Wow.
First guest cancelled. And I was witnessed the accident. We were involved in an accident when we went to go and see the Papa. When we come back from seeing the Papa. Yeah. So yeah, stuff like that. But in terms of stigma, okay. So I actually asked a very popular actress to come on the documentary, and she was like, no, she can't. Yeah. And I was like, okay, no problem. But, it was just quite sad for me because I just felt like, you have such a big platform and women would really resonate with you, like seeing you there as well. It would really make them feel like, wow, this A-list celebrity that, everybody loves in Nigeria has this condition. It would really make these girls feel, okay, I'm not that weird. But I understood it. I got it, privacy. Not everybody is open to sharing, but yeah, that was, for me, I was like, oh, okay. I would have loved to have you though.
Okay, so in all of this now, how can you encourage someone watching that is living with that condition and do not know what to do?
So I think it's very important to work with a gynecologist. Another thing about PCOS is that it's very expensive.
Yes.
Yeah, so imagine the women in the rural areas. It's very expensive to do, because as you said, there's no cure. You can only manage it. So you have to really work with a nutritionist or just figure out your diet. Eat healthy. I would say healthy. Eat healthy. Eat specific types of food. You can find them on the food map. Be conscious of your periods because as well as, even though we don't like having periods, it's important to have a period. Yes. So it's not something you should just not want to have.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, you need to look at that. Go check when it's irregular. Go and check at the hospital. Try to stay away from certain types of food that are processed, like sugar, chocolate.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for
God.
me to even say
sugar, chocolate.
I was eating popcorn last night, and I was like, "Oh, why am I doing this?" And I'm championing these cravings. But yeah, just try your best, please, because we deal with a lot of insulin resistance issues with PCOS. So
the sugar cravings.
Yeah, especially at night. Yeah.
Right.
So, what is the place of parents in this?
For parents, I think it's knowledge. Read up on, especially if you have a girl child, read up on different types of conditions. And also talk to your child. Ask her, because again, with this culture that we have of being quiet, like, okay, oh, you're having your period, okay. I don't know, sometimes they celebrate it like, you're a woman now, here you go. But then the girl is like embarrassed, it's like, oh, okay, what's this? Because you just literally just finished playing with dolls and now they're like, you're a woman. What's going on? Yeah.
Exactly.
So please, parents, try and talk to your children. Even the boy child, explain like, okay, your sister's having, this, she's not feeling well right now, that kind of thing. Make it like a family thing so everybody understands. It's not something of shame or like, okay, let her go and stay in the corner or stay inside. Don't come out with us right now because you're. Yeah, and then also just checking, ask questions like, oh, how was your period today? This cycle, was it really painful? Because even painful periods is sometimes a sign of something that's not working, was going right in the body. So you need to really, really be conscious of what is happening to your child. Once they get to adolescent stage, especially.
Okay, no problem.
Quite interesting here.
I didn't want to ask a question, but I was...
No, go on.
I was afraid that maybe it might be passing my boundaries. Did you have a point where this syndrome maybe threatened your life?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, yes. That's a good question. Don't be afraid. So when I actually did IVF,
okay.
Yeah, so when I did IVF, the trigger shot, so you have to do egg retrievals. And when I was doing the egg retrievals, I got sick. I got diagnosed again with another syndrome, ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome. That's when you produce too many eggs. Yes, exactly. And I didn't know what was going on. I just woke up. The doctor was like, oh, this is life-threatening. And I don't know, for some reason, I didn't acquaint that with my enemies passing.
That would have been the first thing village people looking for me.
I was like, life-threatening. Okay, it doesn't mean what I think she means. Yeah, it's fine. My stomach was swollen. I could not walk. I was in a wheelchair for a while. I was coughing up blood, like blood clots. I couldn't function. Literally incapacitated. I really couldn't function, and it was really hard because I still had to do work on Instagram. Like I had to be present. So I was in my sick bed, like typing. It was a really, really bad time. So that's another thing. If you're going to do things like IVF and you have PCOS, they'll always tell you that you're at higher risk of getting OHSS, and it is quite scary because it can in some cases be life-threatening because the fluid is building up in your stomach, and you literally, the irony is that you look pregnant. You look pregnant, but you're not pregnant. So you're seeing your stomach. And when I started getting better, I walked to the store and this man held the door open for me and he said, oh, congratulations. And I was just like, wow.
You don't even know anything.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm pregnant with fluid right now, but okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's good to have a very good support system, of course. I'm talking about your husband.
Yeah, my husband, right, yeah, he's really supportive. I think someone sent him a message and they were like, oh, thank you so much for, supporting her and, allowing her to speak about all these things. Even though I was like, it's not going to stop me. but seriously, some husbands, that could be a deal breaker. Like, you can't talk about
because
this.
Someone said her marriage crack went off because of that.
Because number one, she couldn't explain the weight.
Yes.
She couldn't really control it. And then also she couldn't conceive. Yeah. And there's even a woman that sent me a message and she was just like, 11 years of barrenness thanks to PCOS. But, and I'm just like, I just cried looking at that message because just those words, 11 years barrenness because of PCOS. But she said one day it will happen for her.
Stephanie, thank you so much, of course, for talking to us on this. I'm sure the awareness will go very far. And there will be many more awareness, of course.
And about other women-related
Yes, other women-related issues as well. And, of course, kudos to all you're doing. Of course, going to universities to talk about this and to test them. It's quite a good thing. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for coming.